Alright, well, you guys don't know me as the tactical guru leading expert on rifles and whatnot, but what we're going to do today is, well, my winter wonderland is melting out here. It's above freezing today, and I thought I'd get a little projects done that require some sort of spray painting. We're going to be Duracoating the AR today. I'm going to pull it all apart, take the grip tape off, lightly sand it. I'm probably not going to do an ultra detailed I guess breakdown of it. I'm going to prep it fairly well, but I'm not going to tear it down to pieces. I'm basically going to treat it like a lot of the men do and just spray it, you know, when they're in the field. But instead, I'm going to do it with Duracoat. Main purpose is to get the rifle done today. We'll see. I only have a small, I think 6-ounce bottle of the Duracoat, and I'll show you that in a second. I do have 6 magazines that I'm going to prep. We're going to pull the optics off, sand those down, get those covered in blue tape. Here's my old 4-guard with the add-on rails. I'm going to pull that apart, and if I have enough paint, we're going to paint that. I'd really like to get the LMF painted, mostly the sheath and the knife. The nylon will probably stay that way until I can find a good way to dye nylon, or to maybe just rattle can it or something to tone it down. It would be nice to get the bright red Mora done, and if I have enough paint, which I doubt I do, I thought about doing the old canteen cup just for shits and giggles. So I'm going to break out the paint and get some prepping done. We'll bring you back. Alright, we're getting her disassembled, got it sanded down, we've got the Gerber, we're going to do the Mora. I have one of those attachment pieces for doubling up magazines. Canteen cup is done. Went and grabbed the Phoenix TK40. My old Surefire P90 is, or P90, P60 is my weapons light currently. I've got that. Seems to work great. I could put an updated LED bulb in here if I wish to. I made my own pressure switch to hook onto these UTG sides, and I'm pretty happy with that. That's fairly lightweight aluminum. Again, most of my accessories I got from Cheaper Than Dirt years ago, but having 4-side rail, they're fairly sharp unless you're wearing gloves, so it's nice to have those rubber caps on there. And I basically just made my own pressure switch on one of them. I don't know the brand of this bipod. I don't really use it that much. 5.56 short barrel is not really a long range weapon. I just bought it to have. One of these pieces did strip out, so it doesn't really want to retain in there, so it's kind of junk. I was fairly happy with the Bushnell. This is their cheaper one. It's about 120 bucks or something like that. I liked it because it does have backup irons right on top of the scope, so you don't need the flip ups. It is just sort of a red dot, although I'm not. Let me turn on the that's green. It does have, I don't know if that'll work or not. There we go. Get something dark. It does have green for low light situations, and then switch over to red. And the red's alright. I just, for some reason, even on the lowest setting, you can see how it kind of, not blurry, but it kind of gets washed out when you really get high up in the red. And I mean, that's just ridiculous. So you kind of lose some of that focus to get real tight groups. You know where the bullet's going, but I don't know. I was never really happy with the actual sight picture on there. It just looked like it needed to be cleaner, I guess is the best word. But decent for the money, and it's held up great. Battery lasts forever. This was a Canicom purchase. This is the EZE, and this fits on under the front sight post that holds the Surefire for the light. Made in the USA. It was plastic, but it's their polymer, and I haven't had any issues with it, even hanging off the front. So another purchase was the Mako, which is kind of the cheap stuff you find at Cheaper Than Dirt, but it's the 5-time zoom, and of course you can't really tell the camera, but it let's see if we can get a focus. It's pretty good glass. I was pretty happy with it. Now, all of these are supposed to be fog proof and all that crap, but you know what? When you're out running in the cold, this stuff fogs up pretty easy. In order to get that to line up to the Bushmaster, initially I knew I was going to have to get forward rails over the stock guard, so I bought these off of Cheaper Than Dirt, but the problem was the height was too high. The front post, the Bushnell out towards the handguard, was elevated too high for the 5-power back here on the stock rail. So that's when I got the UTGs, and pretty happy with it. You know, the more crap you throw on there, the heavier it gets. I'm looking to kind of switch over, I think, to some of the more polymer type foreguard. I'm not worried about the buttstock. It's stock Bushmaster. I haven't had any issues with it, even in the cold weather and stuff. So we're looking to upgrade maybe to some Tapco polymer mags, and the color we're doing the Duracoating is called Tactical. I'll bring it out here. Tactical Sage Sand something. I don't know. We'll see. It looks more yellow in the bottle than I think I want. But I think if I end up getting maybe a green foreguard, MOE foreguard, and get some polymer mags, that'll help balance out. I'm not really into camo, but I may try the sponge technique that Haas UMC did on his. It won't be Duracoat. It'll have a base coat of Duracoat for wear, and then you know, if I sponge on some sage green, I think it'll do the job. And if that wears off, the Duracoat stands there, then you're still pretty golden with a nice dark color. So I'm going to get this cleaned up with brake cleaner and start shooting it. I'm going to try the just the cheap little aerosol on the little bottle, and I'll bring you back when I got that ready. Well, we're back. It's actually been a couple of days since I sanded everything down, taped everything off, and then used some brake cleaner on there. One of the tips was to acclimate your product that you're spraying to the environment. Right now it's only about high 40s, low 50s today. This stuff's all been out here overnight, so you're not going to get any condensation or sweating from the materials introduced into a colder environment, which is handy for today. I did keep the paint inside and the aerosol for our sprayer. Now, I think I mentioned before, this is a 4 ounce into a 1 ounce, even though on their website it says that the hardener that comes with this kit is only a ½ ounce. The label says a full ounce. So I'm not sure what to believe. I'm not going to waste a teaspoon measure on it because I use it for cooking. I'm not going to get a spare one. So what I'm going to do is, right now this is 4-to-1. It should be 12-to-1. So I'm going to only use 1/3 of the hardener into there, shake it up, put it into the glass vial, and then you've got a 6 to 8 hour working time. About an hour to dry in between. So I've got everything laid out. I'm going to spray as much as I can. Initially I was going to try and hang some things, so I might get a couple old wire hangers just to get the maybe the rifle and some of the other bigger pieces, but for the most part I think I'm just going to spray them and then flip them an hour and then spray them. I've got 6 to 8 hours of working time, and that's should be spraying about 80 degrees, it says. So I think times will be a little bit slower, a little bit colder, longer to dry for the hardener to cure. So I've got a little bit more working time, I would imagine, than a hot summer day. Well, we're back after essentially kind of a coat and a half. I didn't really let it an hour between coats. I think I got a little too ambitious. Got the rifle, bipod, flashlight, canteens. Got some of these hit a second coat. You know, that 4 ounces said it would do 3 or 4 firearms. I don't know if that means pistols, because I ran out of paint. Still got plenty of aerosol in there, but I'm out of paint. So initially, to keep the oxygen off the paint, I had only poured half into the sprayer and then put the cap back on here. And so I don't know, maybe I was a little too optimistic. I really should have just done the rifle and maybe the magazines, and made sure I got plenty of coverage on there, because you know the flashlight really needs a second coat. Some of these rubber mounts only just got kind of oversprayed. I don't think the rubber part of the Gerber is really going to take, so that might peel off a little bit. Got Got the magazines, but still need a little extra work. Kept it away from the feed lips, but I didn't put any tape over there. I just kind of covered my finger over there. Yeah, I don't know. So this, I guess, be part one. We're going to cure it, and then I might jump on the old interwebs, as the kids say, and see if I can get another 4-ounce bottle of this within a couple days. And I'll just let this cure out here really well before I put on a better second coat. And maybe go get another aerosol can. So stay tuned. Alright, about a week later, this stuff has had plenty of time to cure. I'm going to do a little bit of light sanding on a couple items, especially the blade. Looks like, well, you probably can't see it because this camera doesn't have focus, but just a light sanding before I do a second coat. The other thing, I'm going to take one magazine that is covered enough. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good already. Like I said, the feed lips have a light dusting on them, but I'm not worried about that. We can sand that off pretty easy. I'm going to take an old car washing sponge and cut a chunk off, and then we're going to do a little sponge with some spray paint, Haas UMC style. So stay tuned. Alright, cut off a piece of sponge. We got our magazine here. Now I have ultra flat green, which is still kind of a dark color. I'm not real thrilled with those. The ultra brown is a very dark color. So what I'm going to try is a little of this satin green, which is a very sagey green. So let me get that sprayed on here, and we'll dabble it on, and maybe I'll put a touch of dark brown, and we'll just play with these three colors. Alright, well, this was the first one I did. I started out with that satin green. I actually have some of the flat earth and the brown and the flat green in there as well. And it's not too bad. This one I went a little heavy to see what that would look like. And I'll roll in some pictures. I really think less is more. I really like this side better than the big globby side. So I think less is more in this case. So I did a second one where I dabbed off the sponge and really just did it light. And this is only, I got all three colors on there. It's mostly the satin. I got the green in a couple spots, and then I did the brown in a couple spots. But I think I like that much better. And then here's one with a little bit more brown and less green. But let me know what you think. Paint arrived this afternoon, so this is going to be the end of part one, and I'm going to finish up the second coat of the Duracoat Tactical, and I'll bring it back. Let me know what you think so far.